What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? It is Wednesday morning, Wednesday, April 24th, 11 a.m. in New York City, 9 a.m. here in San Jose, Costa Rica, 8 a.m. in San Jose, California. What a night! What an incredible night. Man, that's the best night of sports I've seen in 2019. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's go through it. I mean, first off, the Bruins took care of business. The Bruins are the Maple Leafs boogeyman. Home teams win Game 7s in NHL. All that rang true. And I was very fortunate to hit the over. I did not deserve to hit the over. That I was even a little surprised. I did think Babcock would pull his goalie a second time, down 4-1. But for Bergeron to get that goal with a half second left, that was just the gambling gods shining down. I did not deserve that over. And the underbetters were in a terrible spot last night. They were right, really, in both games. Then we get the Sharks-Predators game, and unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, people are Gerard Gallant, Jonathan Marchessault, extremely upset. Was that cross-check worth a 5-minute penalty? No. But in sports and in life, when you commit an infraction and someone gets hurt badly because of your actions, you run the risk of facing a far greater penalty than your action deserves. And it will always be like that. In life, in sports. And yeah, that should have been a 2-minute penalty for interference. But when you run a yellow and it's into a red light and nothing happens, you might get a ticket. But if you run through that yellow that's turning red and you crash into somebody, it'll cost you a lot of money. If you run that yellow and it's turning red and it kills 3 people, you could end up in jail. That is life. And Joe Pavelski lying on the ice, blood coming out, knocked out. 5-minute penalty. That's what happens. That's just what happens. But it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable seeing Joe Thornton screaming, "Make them pay." Look at Joe, make them pay. We make them pay right now. You go out there, make them pay. Then Couture saying, that's just 6 seconds. It was unbelievable. And then the Knights fighting back. And there's Marchessault and Gerard Gallant have every reason to be upset. They could have gone all the way to the Stanley Cup final easily. They were the best team in the Western Conference. They're better than the San Jose Sharks, especially. I've got big futures. Now, I hedged with the Knights, but I've got big futures in play. 15-1 on $100, 10-1 on $100, and then $200 at 5.5-1 to win the West. And I'll probably, without Joe Pavelski is going to be out for a while. Could be out for the rest of the playoffs. Who knows? I would probably have had a better chance, even though the money would have been less, had the Knights moved forward rather than the Sharks moving forward. And then we get Damian Lillard's dagger from just inside half. It's ticking down. Why move to the 3-point line? What are you doing? He knew what he was doing, and then he waves to the Thunder goodbye. So NHL 3-0, up 3.13 units. MLB 7-6, basically broke even, basically. And that sucks. My good nights are like break-even nights in MLB. And then in NBA, just took it right in the drink hole, right in the old prison pocket. Lose 2 units on my match, but just get destroyed, 22-3 Toronto. And then I lose with my in-series bets on the Thunder, which were a travesty. So down 4 units. And I was saying yesterday, look, I'm up now in my second half of the season. All right, what a night. What a night. And it just keeps getting better and better. It's that time of year. We're 10 days away from the Derby. We have another Game 7 tonight. Heaven. This is heaven. Shout out to all the cappers in chat. We got Ulysses Hayes, Walla Dose, Demetrius Miller, Brian Watson, Matt Randall, Drew Daddy, Dom Ricci, Dom the Don says, how about Dame? It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. We got Imp 13, 420, Joe Rich Ramirez, Matt Randall, Paulo Marquez, Randy Lockhart, Bada Boom. We got Bada Boom. Oh, shit, sorry. There's been a lot of chat. I'm behind. Okay, wait, sorry. Vinny Cornell, RMK, Jose Contreras, Joe Rich Ramirez, Dennis Garcia, God, sorry, I fell way behind. Sorry, there's a lot of Vinny Cornell, Jose Contreras, Ron Lofton. We got Dat Fire TV, Steve Cordero, RMK, Jason M. Says, shout out to my $500 Bruins -1 cash. That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oscar Valverde, Ramirez in there. So we got Fitzhugh, Juan Ruiz ready to get to work. What a great group. King Rail. King Rail's been destroying. Look at that. 77-23 since April 21st. That's unbelievable. Jared Schrader, 4-0 last 2 days for me. Low volume working for me. So far, you're on the Pirates -116 to stop that streak. I like it. Failed at life. Xavier Oliver. Tara Nicole. Tara Nicole says, can't give up 4 goals. Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised Gerard Gallant didn't call a timeout, but he ended up calling a timeout when they needed it with the net empty, and they got the goal there. So, Jim Rome's a douche. Kevin Pine, Nut Flush Allen. Jeff Joseph, so disappointed with the Leafs. I get it. Drew Dice says, got to have a meetup, a low bag meetup in Chicago soon. It's on the list. RMK says, it was an absolute bullshit call and Vegas got robbed. You're right. But, I mean, early in the game, I mean, those two power, you're right. I don't think it was a bullshit call. That's just what happens. You face the risk of a far greater penalty than you deserve, but you did an infraction. It should have been 2 minutes, but there's a guy lying bloodied on the ice. You get 5 minutes. That's just the way it works. Jason M says, I'm happy Vegas lost. Carlos Pro says, Jimmy, my Capitals are ready to continue to rebuild. God, are they ever? Randy Lockhart says, oh my God, Jimmy, thanks for opening because I threw a $2,000 ticket. I got it out of the trash over 5.5. Oh, that's funny. Harry Dubitsky in the house. We got Nate Dogg. Kobe Valentine rolling last night. He cashed with Arizona and Oakland last night. I followed him. I tailed the Arizona and Oakland -1.5. Back today, he's like Chicago White Sox money line, Chicago Cubs money line, Yanks money line. Let's go. Also, he did 725 live bet with the Blazers. Shout out to Kobe Valentine. I'm going to copy and paste that. File, copy right there. Okay, let's get that going. Man, what a night. It was wild, Randy, you say that because they didn't even post the goal for a while. And so I had to rewind. And I was like, well, the goal scored with a half second left. I did not deserve that over, but I took it. Coco Bongo. What's Coco, my man? Coco Bongo. We got Young Abu Dhabi, Raul Lopez, Ty Clinton, Tease, top of the morning, Ben Sports 24/7, Gabriel Hernandez, Von Polo. Von Polo says, hey, Jimmy, Omaha Beach get the 19th or 20th post. Will you still like him to win the race? No, I think it's that close. So no, Von Polo. If he gets a 19th or 20th spot, I will not take Omaha Beach to win the race. Mr. Ghost said, might have been the best period of hockey I've watched. What a night. Steve Cordero had A's, Yanks, Sixers, Nuggets, Raptors, and Thunder for a 60. Woo. CT Bays, Tigers plus 200 stepped up yesterday, didn't they? Wow, what a night. Oh, so Coco Bongo says, Leafs best player, only on the ice 18 minutes in Game 7 is head scratcher. You're right. There's some very questionable coaching, without a doubt, by Babcock. But, I mean, I still believe him. We got Astute Chaos in the house. Astute Chaos, he's coming off a tough night. I copied and pasted his plays from Twitter yesterday because I know he's going to bounce back big. Matt Randall, like in game winner, roadster, maximum security. Listen, Matt Randall, if Omaha Beach is in the first 10 or 11 spots, we know what he does. He's going to go right to the lead, stay out of trouble. We'll have to see. But I don't know how Omaha Beach would not be in the mix. I just don't know how they would not be in the mix. Okay, you guys, this is so exciting. This is so wow. Oh, and so we're gonna get into baseball. We're gonna start quickly with NBA. Lil J says, I almost picked Sharks for the Cup after that comeback. It'll be nice. Jeff Joseph says, Jimmy, will you break the Derby down next week? Absolutely. I'm gonna do a 1-hour video just on the Derby. Don't worry. Next week is a huge week for me. So yes, a major breakdown of the Derby, of which I've hit 7 years in a row. Now that's being sort of easier, if you could say that, because we changed the prep races about 6 or 7 years ago, and you have a real idea who's the best horse now, whereas before there was a lot more volatility because now you have to earn your right into the races. It's changed, so it's become easier to cap. David Mendeville in the house. Viper MB says, how do I bet the Kentucky Derby? We have so many options with our sports books. With going to a track, going to an off track, we'll have so many options for you, Viper. Don't worry about that. Okay. Anna Merrick says, Jimmy, I'm glad your futures are live, but the Sharks shouldn't have won that game. Hey, that is sports. That is life. We can say that all the time. Well, we will be saying that all the time. Matt Randall says, Jimmy, when do the assignments come out for the Derby? Tuesday morning. The post position draw is at 11 a.m. I believe they do the Oaks first. I think they do the Kentucky Oaks first, and then about like 11:30, they do the Derby. All right. Joe Richmond says, Jimmy hosting the Audible this week. Yeah, on Monday, we're doing our first Audible in a long, long time. RMK says, forget what side you're on. If you're a hockey guy, you can't like how that game was decided last night. Vegas controlled the game. Refs handed Sharks a chance. The better team did not win that series. Certainly the better team did not win that series. But in that first period, the Knights were very fortunate to be up. Very fortunate. The Sharks came so close. The Sharks hit a couple posts. Sharks had those 2 early power plays. RMK, I guess you can't really say if you're a hockey guy, you can't like how that game was decided last night. I don't think that's a fair thing to say. I mean, if you're a hockey guy and you see Joe Thornton on the bench screaming, 40-year-old Joe Thornton with his gray beard saying, make them pay. And then you see Couture going, that's one, motherfuckers, that's one. As a hockey guy, do you not like that? Because I was watching that going, holy shit, what's happening? Jesus, look. And I'm a hockey guy, I go, holy, what? Do you see what's happening here? So, I mean, there's different ways of looking at that game. And that penalty, as I keep repeating, happens in all facets of life. A minor infraction with a horrible outcome, you get judged much harsher. I mean, that's just life. But I love Cabin with the RMK, and us disagreeing is always great. It's never going to hurt. Yu Cheng Yu says Vegas got robbed. They should have won in Game 6. Vegas is the better team. Vegas is the better team.
Did you see who lost the play? Leafs versus Bruins. Fuck you, Larry.
Jesus. Whoa.
Did you see who lost?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I think I turned off. No.
What the hell's going on? I got a lot of work to do, Freddie. Good work.
Goodbye.
Good work. I know you've hit 5 straight, and you're the crown prince of ties. Okay. Okay, let's get to work. Let's get to work right now. Jorge, don't play. Jim Rome's a douche. RMK says, yes, it was exciting, but I'd rather the players decide the series. I mean, again, RMK. The players decided that, the Knights allowed 4 power play goals on a 5-minute power play. I don't know. It was what? Don Reed says, I had Vegas in the series, and it was still great hockey. It was nuts. Okay. Let's get to work. Yo-Yo Street had a great day yesterday. Thanks, low bad team. And Kevin Pine says, fire Freddie. Okay. All right. And Steve Cordero says, Russ should have given that ball to George. Russ didn't manage the clock right. Russ is a very bad decision maker. It's Russ's fault. Lil J says, Vegas got robbed, but Sharks took the goddamn bull by the horns. Okay, let's get to work. We've done enough, but it was just such a wild night. Wild night. And I think it's going to cost me. I really do. I know that the Sharks are going to be able to ride momentum, and the Avalanche shouldn't be too hard of an out. But I don't know. I maybe they can ride this momentum, but I would have, even though it's less money up for grabs, I probably have a better chance of succeeding with the Knights moving forward. All right, let's get to work. Cole Valentine says, Vegas didn't get robbed. They blew it. They still let up 3 goals in a matter of minutes. And Ron Lofton says, give him Freddie a raise. Oh, you're a good man. Or hey, don't play. Okay, let's get to work. Stu Cal says, Freddie, understand. Keep doing your things. Okay, let's get to work. First off, let's quickly touch on NHL tonight and NBA tonight very quickly, and then break down all the morning games and as many games as we can. We're going to be joined here by Drew Martin in 36 minutes. Kobe Valentine says, Boston probably winning it all. I know a lot of very sharp hockey NHL cappers who like the Jackets to take out the Bruins with relative ease. Relative ease. Not like a 4 or 5 game, but, that are very confident the Jackets are going to play the Capitals in the finals. But we'll see. Okay, we'll see. Okay. You're right. RMK, the Sharks had no chance to win that game otherwise. But, they could have drawn, that could have been a 2-minute penalty. They could have gone on the power play for that 2 minutes. They could have scored 6 seconds in it and turned it around a bit. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Shout out to Top Set in the house. Rob Portwando ready to go. King Rails locked in Golden State first quarter, first half. Okay, let's get to work here. So, first off, I'm going to celebrate Gas Station Sushi because he came on and gave us 2 winners yesterday. Very, very impressive. Imp said, yeah, going crazy. It was absolutely crazy. It was absolutely nuts. Like, I can't even. In Nut Flush Honest, it's like I tell Caden, don't leave anything in the umpire's hands. Mr. Goldrick says, I don't like the rest for Columbus. They were rolling. I'm fine with the rest for Columbus. Fine. I really am. Maybe, I would rather sweep 4 games than win in 7, personally. Ulysses A says, don't understand where the 5-minute penalty came from. It came from blood on the ice. It came from a reaction. It was just a reaction. They didn't see what happened. They didn't know what happened. It happened too fast. It was a mistake. Okay, Hurricanes, Capitals, let's get to work. Sorry, it was just so exciting. We had to talk about everything. What a night. It was so hard to sleep last night. Okay, let's get to work. Washington opens at minus 139, 10-cent move in their favor now, minus 149. If you want to take the Capitals on the puck line, that's where you'll get value, plus 195 up to plus 200, a low of plus 185. The total in Game 7 here is a 5.5 juice to the under. If you wanted to go back to the over, 5.5, a plus 105, and that is not a move I really want to make immediately, but we'll get into that. So, through the first 6 games, the home teams won every game in this series. Alexander Ovechkin, Backstrom, and Wilson have played very well, but Kuznetsov has gone missing again, like he did in parts of last season. And when you're wondering, can the Capitals go on and win the Stanley Cup without TJ Oshie and with Kuznetsov not playing well? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, all bets are off. I wouldn't take them right now. If they were going up against Boston or Columbus, I would probably take the other side. I would try. Ulysses Hayes saying money line all day on the Caps. I can understand that. RMK saying Carolina probably will be the only person on them. Antoine Seymour says Caps puck line and game over 5.5. We do know that a 3-1 lead can turn into 6 goals. We just saw that last night. Russell Gordy, Canes win tonight. And over after last night, I learned my lesson. You were unlucky in that spot, Russell Gordy. And you were unlucky in the Thunder spot, plus 150. That was just, sometimes that's just the way gambling works. You're on the right side and you get burnt. Jesse Daly saying Carolina will win this game. We got Dave L.A. in the house. And Aaron Cervantes says, what up, fellas? Sharks game, best hockey game I've ever seen. I mean, I'm a Canucks fan, so I've got different games that are my favorite games of all time. But what a game. What an absolute game. Okay. Okay, sorry. Still got some lung issues. Okay, so that's what's happening with Capitals. They have no Oshie, and Kuznetsov has just been a disappearing act. Again, hasn't scored a goal in the series. Carolina also has a very interesting stuff. Remember in our Heritage prop bet last out, our 6th win in a row, we faded Nino Niederreiter. That first line of Aho and Teravainen. Now, Teravainen is playing very well, but that first line isn't scoring. It's Fogle, it's Jordan Stahl, it's the other pieces to this puzzle. And the Hurricanes are still playing with a ton of toughness, even though they're without Furland, which is very impressive. They've been a very impressive team, and credit Rod Brindamore for all this. I'm going to sit with this game for a little longer before I make a move on it. Obviously, I like the Capitals here. But how exactly do I want to play it to make money is the question. RMK says, let's not forget, aside from last season, this is a Caps team that were known for playoff choke artists, 4-11, I believe, in Game 7. You're right. So I'm going to make a move on this game, but I want to sit with it for a little longer to understand exactly where I'm going to get my most value. Jesse Daly says, Washington played a ton of Game 7 series, gives an edge to Carolina. You know, I really think that Ovechkin has changed the feeling of this group. They know they can win when push comes to shove. And I expect them to win tonight. I expect them to take care of business tonight. But what's the best way of taking care of business? Russell Gordy says, why is the line low, Jimmy, and Washington Canes? Well, no Oshie and no Kuznetsov. Yeah. I'm not sitting here saying, I'm on the Capitals right now. You know? Okay, so that's what's up. And we'll talk more about this game on the Late Show. Now let's get into NBA quickly. We got King Rail in the house. Let's start with Jazz Rockets, and we're going to break down all the morning baseball games. And we're going to have Jay Money is Money joining me on the Late Show, and then I will get the chance to be on King's Court this evening. So let's quickly go to NBA here at sportsbookreview.com. Check out the odds page here. We're going to go to spreads and totals. And let's just briefly talk about these games. No need to make a move unless one jumps out at us. Houston opened up minus 8.5. They're now minus 8.5 at some books, minus 9 at Bovada, minus 8 at Pinnacle. And as we've seen, especially in baseball, when Pinnacle's leading a direction, that's usually the direction to go. Utah opening up at total of 213, now 212.5. Trent Claxton saying Houston over. Viper MB says Rockets easy. Joey Mutz has thoughts on alternative spread for Houston and Golden State. That's a really good question. That's a way to get more value without a doubt. I'm going to have to take a little bit more time on this. Okay, let's keep rolling. Keep rolling here. Ben Sports 24/7 like your Rockets first quarter and first half. So the Rockets missed their final 13 3-point attempts. Utah's capable of playing good defense. I don't know if it's good defense necessarily or Rockets just getting cold. Riku Roxa says spreads are high for a reason. Yo-Yo Street says Rockets. Jazz stepped up with defense. There's no doubt about that. 38.4 they held the Rockets to in shooting in Game 3, and then 35.4% on Monday. Gobert and Favors are protecting the rim, forcing Houston to hit outside shots. And if they don't hit outside shots, what the hell happened? There's Ski Profit in the house. Rockets first quarter -3. Rockets first half -4.5. So, very interesting. So, right away, you see Ski Profit liking the Rockets early, King Rail liking the Warriors early. Be consciously aware of this. Ulysses says Houston wants to win this at home. My man, May 910, saying, what up from Alaska in the work truck. Shout out to you, May 910. Thank you for joining us. Port Wando, early play as usual. Warriors under 235. So let's just discuss it. In all honesty, right now, I do think that the Jazz can keep it with an 8. I do. That's my very first feeling on this game. I think the Jazz can keep it with an 8. Ulysses Hayes saying Harden will be lights out tonight. Let's talk. We're going to talk all different ways to hammer this game, whether we want props, whether we want to take Harden overs. We'll make moves here. Noli No says, oh, nice, Ralph. I was thinking the same. Well, let's talk about it right now. Clippers, Warriors. We know King Rail liking Clippers first quarter Warriors first quarter and first half. Warriors open -14, now -14.5, -15 at Bovada. The total opens at 235. That's where Port Wando got it, but it's been going down. It's now at 233. And the Warriors just win game 5s. They win game 5s over and over and over in every series they're in. The only game 5 they lost was in the championships against the Cavs. And that was when Draymond Green got suspended. Clippers, meanwhile, they've lost game 5 in their last 5 series. Warriors rebounded from that shocking loss to play very, very well in LA. Lou Williams had 36 points in that game 2 win, held to a total of 28 in those 2 games after. But Gilgeous-Alexander exploded for 25 points. Impressive. Ulysses Hayes, Clippers +14.5. Ski Profit also on the Warriors first quarter. So there we go. If you're watching at home, we now know that Ski Profit and King Rail are both on the Warriors first quarter. Jerry Beatty says Rockets -8 seems like a lock, so Jazz might be the player. Rico Roxa says Capella not playing, not a big deal. He was hurting them because he had a virus. Yes, he's got a virus. He's got 2 viruses, supposedly. He is sick. He's sick. King Rail says, in place where the money at. Lower your bet size and close out games in play and make your own number. Can't preach that enough. Oh, it's great having these guys in the chat. What a treat. How lucky are we? Bendover says Capella might be out. I'm telling you what. We know in that Jazz game that Gobert and Favors have been taking care of the rim, and with Capella out, it's going to be even more difficult. Ralph Wando also on Houston first quarter. Listen, I'm not going to make a move on the Clippers +14.5. But I don't think it's nuts to take the Jazz at +9 and the Clippers at +14.5. I don't think that's a crazy thing to do by any means. I'm not going to do that, I don't think. But I find the Jazz more appealing as a dog with Capella hurt. Russell Gordy saying Capella not playing is a big loss. We will talk more about these games on the Late Show. We're going to have Jay Money is Money joining us. We're going to make moves. I want to keep an eye on what the market is saying. Gabriel Hernandez says, with that being said, Rockets Warriors first quarter double is at +230. Chris Postal says, it's Jazz or nothing in this spot. I kind of want to make a move on the Jazz. Let's see what's going on here. Let's just see what Pinnacle is doing with this game. So Pinnacle opened it at 8.5, then went down to 8, and they've been hanging in 8 for a while. But they were hanging that 8 at -113 at 11:13 yesterday, and now it's even at -101. Okay, so we're going to make more moves on these games I just wanted to talk about. Russell Gordy says, when Capella, Paul, Harden play, record is good. When one is out, not good. Do we know about Capella? Is he being listed as out? Could you guys mind looking at that? Because we got to get into these morning baseball games. So at this point, I'm hesitant to make a move on Washington, but I probably will after studying it all day. Probably will. I just think Ovechkin steps up, but I'm so impressed with the Hurricanes. And if they get Svechnikov and Ferland back, Rod Brindamore has taught them to believe in themselves. And then to the NBA, I do feel like the Jazz at +8 is an interesting spot. Astute Chaos was leaning Jazz first half +4. These are Astute Chaos's totals. He is on Utah, Houston under 211.5 and 212. And he's on the Clippers, Golden State Warriors under 235. Rob Perwando also liking Warriors first quarter and first half. So a lot of people on the same page. Benjamin Creasy says Jazz first half. I like them to come into this game strong. It may take a half for the Rockets to bring intensity. Think they likely wouldn't get going in the second half. King Rail said, Jimmy, if you like both dogs with points, why don't you just tease them? My fear with that is that one team does get blown out. That's my fear. But I hear what you're saying, King, and I look forward to breaking these games down with you and being on your show this evening. Ulysses Hayes says, what about Carolina goaltending? Do you trust? Hey, let's talk about Mrazek. I mean, Mrazek stepped up in the second half of the year. I mean, if you look at Mrazek and Holtby's numbers from the regular season, Mrazek was far better than Holtby. I know Holtby steps up in the playoffs, but I hear it. Ralph Perwano says, stay away from the Clippers, Jimmy. Going to the game. Shout out to Ralph Perwano. Great guy. All right. Carlos Barreau saying never tease basketball. Oh, man. What a... Okay, so let's get into MLB and let's get some numbers rolling. First off, can you drop the... Freddie, are you back there? Or Larry, can you drop the NHL record first? Hit that up and then hit the NBA record. And so NHL record got a nice little 3.13 unit hit last night. That is backwards, I believe. Okay, we're gonna fix these things. Okay, but let's get to work. I'm gonna get to work while you're looking at that. I should have got those records out while we were doing them. Okay, let's go. Ulysses Hayes says he's not elite, and neither is Holtby. I mean, obviously, I'd rather have Holtby. Harmcase says Oshie and Kempney out is huge. Kuznetsov off a no-show in the series. Carolina pushing in Game 7 is no fluke. I agree. Okay, well, let's get to work. Let's start with baseball. First off, let's give a shout-out to Gas Station Sushi 2-0. He came into the chat yesterday, gave us Marlins and Padres. Also, Kobe Valentine has been giving us winner after winner after winner. Dave Allay's been giving us winners. We are working together as a team. Joe Anisi's been giving us winners. I'm still struggling horrifying. It's a horrifying struggle I'm having right now, but whatever. Okay. Astute Chaos says, I see Clippers getting blown out, while Utah might keep it close until second half. Okay. The records are messed up. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's all good. Okay, let's get to work. We're going to talk with Royals Rays. Royals Rays, Jacob Junis, 1-2, 6.26 ERA, 1.54 whip, 27 in the third, 8 walks, 26 Ks. Blake Snell coming off the 10-day IL. He fractures right fourth toe, trying to move a granite stand in his bathroom. So it's a minimum he was out for. He is ready to go. He's ready to go. So Kobe, I'd rather go back to Canada and do that. I'm not going to sit here and just sit back and tail. I'll tail when I think the time is right, but yeah, I've had a very bad year and a half publicly. But I'm going to go out guns a-blazing. And I'm going to go out making picks. And if it costs me money like it did last year, it cost me money like it did last year. Okay, let's get to work. Ronnie P in the house. People get emotional. Look, I just got emotional. But it's great having you, Ronnie P. Joe and Nisi ready to rock. Okay, let's get to work. Okay, nice to see Ronnie P in the chat. Noli No says no score first. Kansas City, Tampa Bay. We got the lineups up. Let's take a quick look at what the lines are here and then break down this game further. Here we go. Sorry, where is my SBR.com? Here we are. Here we go. Let's go to baseball. Sorry. Okay. And we will have Drew Martin joining us in 20 minutes. So let's break down all the early games as completely as possible. So let's go to, money lines and totals. All right, here we go. Kansas City, Tampa. Total opens at 7.5. It's now down to 7. Trusting Junis on the road can be dicey. Rays open up at minus 250. There's been a 12-cent move towards the Royals at minus 238. The Royals are going with Merrifield, Mondesi, Gordon, Soler, Owings, O'Hearn, Gallagher, Gore, Hamilton. Tampa Bay going with Lau, Pham, Diaz, Wendell, Garcia, Kiermaier, Robertson, Perez, Adames. We thought that maybe without Meadows, they would slow down offensively. They are rolling. Cody Valentine says, I won't touch that Tampa Bay game. Toe injuries can linger. I didn't mean like just tail. I mean, use your picks here. Okay, I feel you. I get it. Sorry, I didn't mean to, it's tough. Fucking losing and, showing everything. And, Ronnie P says, man, that Vegas killed me, man. That was tough, Ronnie P. It was a horrifying game. Okay, let's keep rolling here. Dion Davis says, Dave's run line, being on them to this series. I think that there's a point here. We got the Matt Randall's team play of the day. I'm going to copy and paste that. Ron Walsack says, Rays over 23 runs, hit an errors prop. Too low, says KC bullpen stinks. Wow, that's an interesting look for sure. If they can get a high pitch count to Junis early. Sorry, I'm just copy and pasting. Matt Randall's play here. So we got that going. All right. I feel I'm not going to take the Rays here because I agree. I feel a little uncomfortable with the toe injury. They didn't want to start him right now. He pretty much demanded it. I am Axman says over in the Rays game, low number. The weather is, it's in Tampa, so they've got no weather there. No, I get it, Kobe. It's all good. It's all good, my man. It's all good. We're working together as a team. Joe Neese says Snail is fine. He said he didn't even want to miss a start. Ben Sportsbook's liking him big. Jin Rummy's up plus 27 units. We are listening, Jin Rummy. We are listening. Big Ragu said, told the chat and everybody to bet the Yanks. Don't fall for the head fake on the Raptors. Big Ragu knows what he's doing. Ron Lawson says, can't fade Rays today, but can't bet them at this price either. I think that's the best way of putting it. The Royals can't hit lefties. 191, 594 OPS versus lefties. But you want to trust Blake Snell after this break? I don't really want to do it. CT Bay saying no Yelich is correct. I like the St. Louis Milwaukee over now 8.5. Wainwright is trash. Dave Alley is in our chat. We got all the chat guys here. So I'm going to stay off this Royals-Rays game. I think the only real move to make is probably the Royals. I'm not going to back them when they're hitting lefties the way they're hitting. So I'm moving off. So let's move on to Marlins at Indians. 49 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour in. We got Sandy Alcantara versus Jeffrey Rodriguez. Sandy Alcantara, 1-2, 5.09 ERA, 1.48 whip, 23 innings. Rodriguez has looked good this year, 5 2/3 out of the bullpen. Marlins are hitting just 210, 607 OPS versus righties. Indians are hitting just 207, 626 OPS versus righties. Gas Station Sushi came in. Ulysses Hayes says, what is Kansas City's day record? I don't have that in front of me. And Christopher Comentini says, nothing's wrong with Snell's arm. That's absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Okay, let's take a quick look at what we're dealing with odds-wise and lineup-wise. Marlins, Indians. For the Marlins, you're getting Granderson, Prado, Anderson, Walker, Castro, Alfaro, Rojas, Galloway, Birdie. For the Indians, you're getting Lindor, Martin, Ramirez, Santana, Gonzalez, Kipnis, Plawecki, Bowers, Freeman. Freeman at short. Lindor DHing. Alcantara is not somebody I really want to trust on the road. Ulysses Hayes, like in Cleveland, money line. I mean, what are you getting for that? Minus 158. I guess that's not terrible. Cleveland opened at minus 165. 4-cent move towards the Marlins. I'm not going to take him at that high of a price point. The total opened at 8.5. It's now at 9. I don't even know if I want to take that either. Ed Williams says, Jimmy Tampa winning period, Rays. I get it. They're a very, very good baseball team. Very, very good baseball team. Jerry Beatty says, I like Cleveland, Phillies, and Brewers to bounce back. Kobe Valentine says, nothing wrong with Snell's arm, but toe injuries can hamper mechanics. Pitching's all about mechanics for success. Alex Ramirez liking Indians. Indians to bounce back after that loss yesterday. That's another spot where I don't know if I want to make a move. I'm looking forward to hear what Drew Martin has to say. Let's move on to Brewers Cardinals. Let's see what we're dealing with here. The total at 9 down to 8.5. Interesting. Now that's not being led by Pinnacle, as bookmaker though is leading it. A very sharp book in itself. Interesting. 9 down to 8.5. Expecting good stuff from Chacin and Wainwright, I guess. Let's see what the money line is here. Brewers, Cardinals. Cardinals open at minus 129, a 5-cent move towards the Brewers. All right. Brewers, Cardinals, Chacin, Wainwright. Brewers are hitting 241, 782 OPS versus righties. Cardinals are smashing righties. 285, 849 OPS. That's the highest average in the league. St. Louis going for a 3-game sweep. Chacin started the season opener against the Cardinals on March 28th. He talked about not feeling good early in the year and that it's coming around. And I was very impressed with his last start against the Dodgers. He just faced them, and he did not get a decision, but he gave up 2 runs, 5 hits, 5 innings against a tough Dodger lineup. Dave L.A. saying, I won't be surprised if Royals is in on the over hits. Interesting. CT Bay says, I like the Brewers plus 115 without Yelich and full game over 8.5. And there is no Yelich in the lineup. The Brewers are going with Kane, Thames, Grandal, Shaw, Braun, Gamel, Perez, Arcia, and Chacin. So that's why it's gone down a half run, just because there's no Yelich, who's not been playing well. I mean, he just completely lit up the Cards in the first 7 games of this series. They were all played in St. Louis. All played in Milwaukee. St. Louis does not have a full lineup yet, just still an expected lineup. See if I can get we still don't know exactly who St. Louis is going with. Interesting. Joe Anisi says, Wainwright is trash. Chacin will get hit. Ben Dover says, do we continue to back Pirates' first 5 unders? They cannot hit it this pathetic. They have a ton of injuries. Interesting. And Nutflush Allen says, I will have my thoughts on the Giants game in the afternoon show. Nutflush Allen came on. He's our San Francisco Giants resident expert. He came on, gave us the over in the Jays game last night. Cashed easily. Big Ragu, going to copy. Dave L.A., first 5 over and Cardinals money line. Wow, I'm going to copy and paste this. Dave L.A. and Big Ragu on Atlanta, Cincinnati, first 5 under. There it is right there. That's business. Dave L.A. on the over, Big Ragu on the under. Wow. And CT Bay saying Yelich is a monster home. All 13 homers in Milwaukee. Wow. Interesting. Okay, let's keep breaking this Cardinals game down. See if it's touchy to go on either side when you know Dave LA's on one and Big Ru's on the other. Wainwright hasn't faced the Brewers this season, but great career numbers against them. But who cares? He's just a different pitcher these days. Interesting. Wainwright on the season, 1-2, 4.74 ERA, 1.53 WHIP. He has not looked very good. And I think Chacin will get better and better and better. Juan Reyes says, badass pick on the Sharks, Jimmy. Thank you. We were very fortunate. But 3-0 feels good. Okay. Wow, I'm going to hear what Drew Martin has to say about this, but this is the third game in the morning that I'm not making a move on. Dion Davis says, maybe Cards first 5. Kobe saying Yelich isn't playing. Yeah, we've talked about that. All right, Gin Rummy giving. I'm going to copy and paste these. This is great stuff. Great stuff, Gin Rummy. Thank you for taking the time to share this with us. All right, here we go. Copy and paste. There we go. All right. Stu Cass says, what's the over-under in the game? It opened at 9. It's now at 8.5. DJ Big Boss says, Giants game comes on at 1 p.m. Nut Flush. Let's talk about Nationals Rockies. The Coors Field fade is now 1-3. CT Bay's going with the over 8.5. And Ulysses Hayes believes in Wainwright. Interesting. Very interesting. James Wilson wondering, Indians run line, Rays run line. Let's talk Nationals, Rockies. Anibal Sanchez versus Herman Marquez, 69 Fahrenheit, clear, 6 miles per hour in. Rockies improved their home record to 4-7. Nationals are hitting 252, 770 OPS versus righties. Rockies still struggling offensively. They're hitting just 238, 684 OPS versus righties. Let's see what we're getting in this game. The total opened at 11. It's now down to 10.5. The Rockies open at minus 148. There's been a 6-cent move in their favor. RMK already jumped on the Stars plus 135. Very, very interesting. Wow. God, I can't wait to these next round series. King Rail says, taking St. Louis on the run line. Should I take Indians also? Milo Georgiev. Shout out to our man Milo in that. Boston run line today minus 1.5. Okay, let's talk. So Sanchez, I lost a lot of money fading Sanchez last year, and he was just creating such soft contact, and he hasn't been as effective or close to as effective this year, but that could change. Sanchez, 4.91 ERA, 1.55 WHIP, has not looked very good. 11 walks, 17 Ks. So last start was Friday at Miami against an easy Miami squad. Sanchez pitched okay. We did hit that first 5 under. We were fortunate to hit it. I was under 4. I believe he was up against Caleb Smith. He took the loss. Marlins won that game 3-2. After losing the opener, Nationals even the series Tuesday. Nationals entered with the worst bullpen in the league at 7.34, but they did not give up a run in 3 innings, and they will get better as it goes. Big Ragu says Caps minus 1.5 plus 200 to steal. Wow, that's very interesting, Big Ragu. Very, very interesting. Overall, Sanchez 4-1, 2.28 ERA in 7 starts against the Rockies, 3.46 ERA, 2 starts in Denver. Ian Desmond hits him hard, 9 for 36. Trevor Story 2 for 5, but those 2 hits are homers. Nolan Arenado 3 for 8 against him. Marquez just got a contract extension. He's had a tough time in his career against the Nationals, but the guy's a spectacular pitcher. And I don't want to take the Coors Field fade when Marquez is pitching. So at this point, I'm doing nothing. Bada Boom says, I like Colorado under 10.5. Seems high with Marquez on the mound. I guess if I had to make a move on the total, I would much prefer getting in on the first 5, even if the Nationals bullpen is pitching better. What would we get first 5? It's a 6. It's a 6. Interesting. Let me just take a quick look at what Pinnacle's doing with this. Here we go. Totals, first 5. Washington, Colorado. I guess I find that somewhat appealing. Let's take a look at what the lineups are. The total, yeah, there's been very little move. A slight move towards the under at Pinnacle, first 5. Interesting. A slight move towards the under. I guess that does make me want to take the first 5 under. Let's see. Ed Williams says, S2Chaos says Sanchez. Oh. Sanchez. Yeah. Ed Williams says Braves under is the play. If not, Braves minus 1.5. Noli Knows says it was 1-1 after 5. Jimmy, it was 1-1 after 5, but we were fortunate. I watched that game, and the Marlins were unlucky not to have scored more runs. I mean, I felt that we were pretty fortunate there. The Marlins had many, many chances to tack on runs there. Many, many chances. So I hear what you're saying, and Dave LA was on. Dave LA was on that. He was on the Marlins first 5, and I felt he was very unlucky. So I guess it's Duke Chaos. Expected batting average for Sanchez 280, expected slugging 380, so he's still getting soft contact. I guess I like that under 6. Let's see if we got the lineups here. Do we have the lineups? No, just expected lineups. Let's see if we can get them here. And we still don't have the Cardinals lineup. Yeah, I guess I like that. And I will take it. I'm going to take Nationals, Rockies, first 5, under 6. Dave Alley saying losing Carrasco is here. Yes, I hear you, Noli Knows. I hear you. I absolutely hear you. Okay, let's just quickly look at the what I'm getting here. I'm going to take the under 6 first 5 in this Washington, Colorado spot. I'm getting minus 114 at Pinnacle. First 5, under 6 at minus 114. Jonathan Gore is on it with me. Okay, that's my first play. Rob Perwan says Giants still haven't scored in the first inning. I'm riding that again. I get it. Okay, let's talk Rangers Athletics. Now, very interesting game here. Very interesting game with this Rangers team having to go with Doughty. They did not want to go with Doughty, so this was the situation. First off, they were supposed to be going with Drew Smiley, who's looked awful. But he's been placed on the injured list with tightness in his left arm. So then Doughty is somebody that they did not want to use. They wanted to use him in the bullpen here, and now it's going to be a day of openers. But that's going to be very difficult for this Rangers team because they've exhausted this bullpen. Lance Lynn was out of the game in the 3rd inning yesterday. So in his relief appearances, he's done some okay stuff. Doughty shut out the Houston Astros on 2 hits over 3 2/3 in the 7-2 loss on Friday. But this is not going to be easy for him. 4 career Major League appearances, all in relief. Ulysses Hayes says, we'll take the A's money line. Steve Cordero says, A's all day. Okay, this is what I want to do on this game. I know I have not made a lot of moves in other games, but I think the Athletics get to this bullpen, this bad Rangers bullpen. And let me see. I mean, I'm saying it's bad. Let's get the exact numbers that we're getting from this bullpen here. Pulling it up right now. I'm going to make 3 plays on this game. Here we go. This bad Rangers bullpen. 4.89 ERA, 269 batting average against. Okay, I'm going to take the A's minus 1.5. I'm going to take the A's team total over. And I'm going to take the full game over. I do not trust Aaron Brooks. And I think that the A's will get to this Rangers bullpen, even if Doughty gets off to an okay start, which is possible. Dave LA says, I won't trust Brooks all season. I agree. Brooks has not looked good. In his last 3 starts, he's allowed 13 runs in 16 innings. Now, I do believe in this guy's upside, and I understand why the A's have gone with him as a starter. Dave LA says A's second half is a good play. Yes, if you have Heritage, A's second half is a very good play. I'm going to make these moves here. I'm going to take... Okay, let's just see what the line movement's been on this full game here. Sorry, full game, money lines and totals. So I got 3 plays I'm making here on this Oakland spot. I'm going to take Oakland minus 1.5. I'm going to take the over 9.5. Let's see if there's any. So first off, let me take the run line full game. I'm going to take the A's minus 1.5 at plus 125. That's available 5 times. So that's my first play. A's minus 1.5 at plus 125. Okay, there. Then I'm going to take the full game over here. Full game over. So totals. The over A's, Rangers. And I did not tell you guys about the weather, but it's clear. It's a nice day in Oakland, 74 Fahrenheit, 4 miles per hour out to center. So I'm going to take the over 9.5. See if there's any 9s left. 9.5s across the board, 9.5s across the board. There's a 9 at the Greek. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the 9, over 9 at minus 125. Over 9, minus 125. Okay, there, I'm taking that. Then I'm going to take the A's team total over. I'm going to go to Pinnacle, MLB, team totals, and I'm going to bag it right now. Team totals, Oakland A's, team total over. Now, I'm not going to take the first 5 team total order over, just in case this Doughty kid gets off to a good start, which is feasible. But the A's will get to this bullpen. Over 4.5 and minus 139. There we go. Team total over 4.5. Minus 139. Okay. Corey Jack says, I agree with the A's, but I have to fade you on the Cards under 9. And who are you talking about here? Yeah, Alex Ramirez says 25th play. I'm not on the... Are you talking about... Oh, I guess maybe you're talking about Dave LA, whom I hope to get on the show today. Okay. Nate Dogg in the house. Paco Healy says, what up? Waking up with a hangover after that Vegas loss. Pretty much like losing to a one-outer. Yeah, Paco Healy, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt. I mean, talk about hitting a one-outer. How about the over in the Bruins-Leafs game? Look, the gods were shining on me. They were shining on me. Okay. Bob Taylor says, just a heads up, the A's pen is short-staffed. I still trust this pen quite a bit more. Let's see if we have reason to. Oakland, 12th in the league with a 4.00 ERA, 242 batting average allowed. Okay, so there's some action there. And then we have Mariners, Padres, and Giants, Blue Jays. This is a very interesting spot. I really want to hear what you guys have to say about it. I initially want to take Paddock, and I want to take the Padres. Let's take a look at what we get for the Padres, San Diego. The total's at 8.5. It hasn't moved. But let's check out what the money line here is with the Padres squad here. It opened at minus 171. There's been a 6-cent move towards the Mariners. I want to fade Felix Hernandez every time he's on the road. But like John Gray, Hernandez saying the same thing about how much he loves this mound in San Diego, talking about it all the time. And he's been incredible at Petco. 5-1, 1.63 ERA, 0.775 whip, opponent's batting average of 170. Do we put a line through that because of who Felix Hernandez is now? That's the question. Paddock has looked great. Padres are 3-1. Raven in the desert, like in the under. Oh, Corey Jackson, someone in the chat. Okay, I feel you. Yeah, it was nuts, Paco. It was just nuts. Kobe Valentine giving us the final score at 7-7. Oakland wins. I like that. Oh, Christopher Comentini saying Doughty's a righty. Oh, absolutely he's a righty. Sorry, I still have the numbers up from Smiley. A's rating 268.23 OPS for lefties. Thank you, of course. Yes, you're absolutely right. Dave LA, what do you think we do about that? I'd love to hear what you guys think what we do about this. Ulysses Hayes is saying, I think Seattle money line. I initially wanted back Paddock. DJ Big Boss leading Padres. Oh. Born in 94 says, hey, Jim, I just finished my meet and greet with Betty on Skid Row. All inclusive for one unit. Oh, you know that's happening. 94, you know that's happening, man. You know that's happening, man. I'll take a stroll down Hastings, man. I'll take a stroll down Hastings and give high fives. Okay. Dave LA liking the under as well. Dave LA, as well as what? As well as what? I'd like to know. No one knows says, I agree, Jimmy. I don't trust Felix on the road. I don't. I want to take the Padres. I want to fade Felix. But do we trust Felix in the one mound that's been so good to him? That's a question I need to know and want to hear from you guys about. And then the other game that's starting, we have two other games that's starting while we are going, and that's the Giants-Blue Jays. Giants-Blue Jays, Pomeranz, Buchholz. You know, I can't wait to hear what Nutflush Allen has to say about this spot. Giants are hitting 201, 606 OPS versus righties. Jays are hitting 256, 59 OPS versus lefties. Drew Pomeranz does not look good. 4.82 ERA, 1.61 whip. We're going to the odds page here for this Giants-Jays series. It opened at 8.5, heavily juiced to the over. It's now come all the way back to almost a minus 110. The Jays were initially favorites at minus 120. Now the Giants are favorites at minus 119. Oh, it drove me crazy, Eric Jones, with that, and Beckham going to second on that play. I lost 2 units on the Mariners game yesterday. I went 7-6. Should have been a good day. Corey Jackson saying King Felix still has gas in the tank. DJ Big Boss says I was going to hammer the Padres today if they lost yesterday, but now I'm not so sure. Dave LA saying Mariners versus Padres under 8.5. I like it. Johnny said I was on Giants yesterday, going to Blue Jays today, so going against the market move. Interesting. Very interesting. So then, in the other game that's going to go on during our show is Braves-Reds. So Phillies, Mets, Diamondbacks, Pirates, White Sox, Orioles, interesting spot, Santana and Means. We got Tigers, Red Sox, Dodgers, Cubs, Twins, Astros, Yankees, Angels. A lot of games we haven't got to, but we'll focus the late show on this MLB card, and we'll touch on the NHL, and then we'll have J Money on the NBA card. But right now, let's bring in our MLB expert, Drew Martin Betts, in the house, in business here on this Wednesday morning. It was quite a night for sports fans last night. It was absolutely spectacular. The best sports night of 2019. Just absolutely wild. Noli knows since I was leaning Jays. Dave LA, we got a great group. Noli knows we got a great group of baseball cappers in the chat, Drew, and now we have you joining us, so let's find some winners. How are you doing on this Wednesday morning?
Jimmy, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. You're right. Last night was a great night. Game 7s galore. Unfortunately, I went 0-2. Cincinnati's offense, I'm talking about the Reds, woke up. My under missed. Gave it out on the show yesterday, so sorry to all the low baggers, anybody that tailed it. Hopefully not many people, because it definitely lost. But last night was fun, man. So excited to get after it today. How you doing today, Jimmy?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Very little sleep, but I feel so good, man. And that's what sports does to you. It's just what a gift it is to our lives. I mean, I tried to get to sleep early last night, and that was just impossible. And when I was watching that 5-minute power play, I was just, it's just so spectacular. Sports is so spectacular. I mean, whether you're on the winning side or losing side, I mean, I don't think that necessarily the Thunder could have come back and won the series had Dame not hit that dagger or Westbrook played poorly in the stretch there. But, I lose $300 in 2 in-series bets that were mistakes. And I've not had a good NBA playoffs. But seeing that dagger, I was like, man, how do you not love sports in every way possible? Okay, let's get to work. What are you looking at on this morning card? A lot of morning action. The first 3 games scare me a little bit. I have made a move on the Nationals Rockies first 5 under 6, and I've made 3 moves on Rangers Athletics, but the rest of it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I heard you talking about some of the morning games, and to be honest, I drank a little bit last night, and so I was a little bit behind in a lot of the morning games. Outside of the fade Felix Hernandez, which I'm always interested in, minus 160 plus right now. I didn't really love a lot of the day action. Starting, I guess, 6:40. I think that's during your late show. Interested in the Atlanta-Cincinnati game again. A couple things on the starting pitchers. Rourke, pretty much as average as it gets in MLB. If you had to pick the most average pitcher, might be Tanner Rourke. Cincinnati lineup, like we talked about, has been cold, one of the coldest in MLB, but yesterday just woke up. So kind of contrasting handicaps here. Is Cincinnati a bet on at this point? Are they not? Did they bounce back? I tend to think so, but going against the young kid, former first rounder, 28th pick overall, good fastball command. But he really only has his fastball, the four-seamer and two-seamer. Outside of that, not many secondary pitches. So his MLB lineups start to see him second and third time through the lineup. Kind of looking to bet against the Braves in the second half today. And I know that's, not market-wide as far as betting second halves, but looking to kind of fade Atlanta. Just because the second and third time through the lineups for him haven't been good. His game one just a week ago, 5 innings, 6 Ks, 2 walks, 1 ERA. And add on to that, Atlanta, not one of the better bullpens in all of baseball. So looking at Cincinnati in the second half, Jimmy.
I get it. I get Cincinnati in the second half, but I don't know why you. Okay, first off, Soroka, 6'5", Canadian kid out of Calgary. Got a lot of potential, but I don't think Tanner Rourke's necessarily an average pitcher. I think that overall, some of his parts, he's an average pitcher, but he gets hot. And the guy is in Monterrey, Mexico, playing catch in front of the stadium, and maybe he needs that whatever to get going, because he's rolling right now. Barnhart raved about his last start. I mean, I know 5 1/3, 1 run, 4 hits, struck out 5, walked 2. He's yet to allow more than 3 runs in a game this season. He's given up exactly 1 run in each of his past 2 starts. And then I know Freeman hits him, Inciarte hits him, Markakis hits him, but he always had Atlanta's number. Not always, but he was good against Atlanta. 8-5, 3.09 ERA. Last year was a little worse, 2-2, 4.19 ERA, but he's a guy that I kind of trust. Christian Walsh saying Rourke's a decent pitcher. Kelby Valentine saying Rourke is streaky. There it is. Oh, and Alex Ramirez says Capella's playing, Jimmy. Thank you. Nate Dogg, perfect. Thank you for sending me that info. I love that stuff. But I just feel it's not. I expect a good start from Rourke. And I guess that Soroka might be the guy who I think is going to have a ton of potential. Is questionable. Well, what's the total on this game right now? If the Cincy bats have woken up, what are we getting here? We're getting a
9.5. I like the under as well. It's just always tough to go back to the well. I just took it on the chin last night. But like any good gambler will tell you, if you see value, go back at it. Don't be scared. So I probably should be with you looking towards the under here on the 9.5.
I'm not going to go against Pinnacle. We talked. The exact same thing happened yesterday in this game. It felt like an underplay. Pinnacle was pushing it towards the over, and it's doing it again right now. And it's just, I mean, Drew, I know I want to talk about these games, but I've been running into cappers who have stopped capping and are only capping the market now. And when Pinnacle and Bookmaker move a certain way, they follow it, called advantage betting. They win, and they get kicked out of books.
I love it. I love the market reading aspect. So what? You're just saying it's 9.5. It's been pushed up from 9, and right now it's sitting Pinnacle minus 112, Bookmaker Chris, Costa Rican International Sportsbook at minus 112, and the rest of the market at minus 110. Meaning, if you're going to throw in big money, you're not doing it at Pinnacle and you're not doing it at Chris. Therefore, that's the sharp books, right?
That's a way of looking at it. There's different ways of looking at it, but that's a way of looking at it. And when Pinnacle moves it to minus 112 and another book is below it, now this is a small difference here. You hammer that bet at those other books. Is a certain way of looking at it.
I like it, man. I mean, it's tough. And do you only do this in baseball with totals? Are you watching this, only in April and May? Is this something new that you're getting on right now, Jimmy?
I've just been running into cappers, whom I respect very much, who have stopped capping games. And they are becoming very, very successful. So successful that books don't want them. And it's just about reading what Pinnacle does. And Bookmaker too. And we saw this in the game yesterday. And it was the only reason why I didn't make a move on the under in Braves Reds. And we saw it soar over. And we're seeing it here again. So it's not ever going to be advantageous for us going against Pinnacle, ever. And it's not just baseball. It's every sport. Now, in NHL, when you feel like you're great at a certain sport, and I feel like I'm a great NHL capper, I got very fortunate last night, don't get me wrong. But I feel like I'm not afraid to go against it. But I'm just looking at everything a little differently after hanging out with some of these guys who are very successful and much more successful than me capping wise, and are no longer capping the games.
I like it, man. It's enough to keep me off it because I guess I was slow on the trigger this morning. So and yesterday, you're right, man. It was absolutely the wrong side to be on the under 13 runs. So I think you're onto something. And respect the market when Pinnacle, Chris, the two sharpest books in the marketplace, are telling you something. You need to at least be aware of it. And I'm with you, man. I'm not going to be on the under.
Well, let's keep rolling. And it's not going to hit 90% of the time. But you don't have to hit 90% of the time to succeed, right? You can hit 60% of the time and be the best in the business. Okay, let's talk more about this card. What else are you looking at? Because there's a couple spots I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, man. The one bet I have placed right now is in the Philadelphia-New York Mets game, Velasquez versus Vargas. Vargas whip is 2.32, one of the worst in baseball, and batting average against 362. Guys are hammering him, so I believe that is the worst in MLB out of qualified pitchers so far. Velasquez versus Colorado last game, 5.2 innings pitched, gave up 7 hits, but most importantly, his velocity. We've talked about it with Chris Sale finding it. Now he's a bet-on pitcher, the market really reacting. Here we get Velasquez at just minus 120 a little bit before. It's been pushed up since the start of your show now at touching minus 130 at some shops, but he was 95 plus. I think he hit 97 in his last game out. So him finding his velocity now is a guy I'm looking to bet on. He's pitched in Citi Field 5 times before. His ERA right at 3. So he's had success, likes the mound, likes the backdrop. That's stuff that I like to have in my back pocket as well. So I got Philadelphia here for 1 unit at minus 120. You can still get it under minus 125. Looks like low watermark minus 123 at 5 dimes, and it's a little bit higher. So to speak towards what we were just talking about with Pinnacle and Bookmaker, they're only 1 tick higher at minus 124, but at least they're not going against us. So I like Philadelphia today.
I get it, and I faded Vargas heavy last game, and he pitched quite well. I was surprised against the tough Cardinals lineup, and I need to spend more time on this game because here's Velasquez with these great numbers, Vargas with these terrible numbers. I just feel like it's a little different. But Ski Profit, it's the opening line is something that Bet Online or these other books are usually first to the market. It's what happens after that. And we saw that yesterday go back to this Reds-Braves spot. That was it, right? Or it was Cardinals-Brewers. Which one was it?
It was Cincinnati versus Atlanta.
Cincinnati,
the total 9.5 to 9 to 9.5.
But it actually opened at 8.5 at Pinnacle. So we saw a full run move there. If you see Pinnacle leading the way in any action, you're going to hit over 55% if you just blindly tail it. That's the most simple way of putting it. And to do that, you go on to sportsbookreview.com, you go onto the odds page, and you watch, and you completely watch. And you have all your books up here. I have Pinnacle as my first book, so I'm always looking. I've got Bet Online, I've got Bookmaker, I've got all these books right here where I'm looking at all day. If you don't have this odds page up all day while you're capping, it's a big mistake. It's a big Big mistake. I hear that play. I'm going to need more time on this Phillies Mets spot. Are there any other games you're looking at?
Yeah, man, looking at a couple others. Let's see here. We got Arizona versus Pittsburgh, Kelly versus Lyles. Lyles just minus 120, and Jordan Lyles, we knew him from Colorado, and he'd get touched up every now and again. He's found his stuff. He's a bet-on pitcher for me. Lyles, he's been lights out, 17 innings pitched, only 1 earned run. He did take one off the hand in his last time out, but it might just actually work to his advantage with extra rest. So I have a bet on with Lyles. And Kelly, a guy that I haven't bet on much, former Sun Devil from Arizona State. He's had control issues, which are things that I look to fade, especially early season. He had 7 walks last time out against the Cubs in only 4 innings. However, the reason I haven't bet on Jordan Lyles in Pittsburgh yet is because Arizona has won 8 of 10. They are a hot team, so wanted to dig a little bit more into that one. And also on the late night, New York Yankees, LA Angels again here, Sabathia versus Pena. Pena, he's a guy that 2 years ago was with the Cubs, a reliever, struggled a lot, man, out of the pen. But since becoming a starter, from reliever to starter, his walk rate has gone from 4.7 per 9 to 2.7. That's 2 less walks per game. That's huge. Also, his first pitch strike rate, 48% to 62%. So he's been a bet-on pitcher, but one thing against him, he only had 4 strikeouts his last 2 games against Milwaukee and Seattle. So those are 2 lineups that are better than this Yankees lineup at this point with all the injuries they've had. So I would look for him to have success. And going against Sabathia, a guy, it's kind of the profile I look to fade here, the Felix Hernandez of the world, Sabathias of the world, guys with, big names, sexy names, but, towards the end of their career here, velocity down. But he has started the season good. 10 innings pitched, no earned runs yet. I doubt that's going to continue. And considering the 2 lineups he's faced are the Royals and White Sox, not 2 of the best lineups in all of baseball, but still, the Angels lineup outside of Trout isn't very good. And Trout has hit Sabathia pretty well, 5 for 16 with 2 home runs off of him. So I doubt Trout's going to see a lot to hit tonight from Sabathia. So kind of liking this under just because both lineups not too scary at this point in the season. Could see Sabathia, a smart pitcher, pitching around Trout, being able to work his way through, 5-6 innings, not get toasted. And Pena's been good as well. So I'm looking towards the under here. Yankees, Angels, late night, 8.5 in the last game on the card, Jimmy.
Well, here we go. Okay, so here, this is a perfect example, Drew. The under opened at 8.5. There is one book that's moved to 8, and that's Pinnacle. So I am going to take the under 8.5. Now, I love the way Sabathia's looked this year. I've loved the way he's looked since he got off the bottle. Pena's looked great. You produced numbers. I'm going to take the under 8.5. This is a perfect example of what we're talking about here. And if we judge every time we make a move where Pinnacle's leading the way and we only keep those records, this is going to work. So I'm going to take the under 8.5. I'm getting minus 105 at Heritage, and you just picked the perfect game to show the example. So here's my first play: under 8.5 at minus 105. Another thing that's going to happen is all the other books are going to see that Pinnacle's down at 8, and I'm telling you, when we hear at the Late Show, these will all be 8s. Or even a 7.5, because everyone's seeing Pinnacle move to this one way. And there's people out there right now who are noticing that Pinnacle's at 8 and are hammering all these other books at 8.5.
I love it, man. I'm jumping on it right now. I love this, handicapping with you and following the sharp moves here. And I think a lot of the matchup standpoints, like we just talked about, point towards this under. A night game on the West Coast in LA Angels at home, not necessarily an over-type atmosphere. I like this under as well. I'm pulling it up right now. I got it at Bet Online at minus 112 to the under at 8.5. So just so everybody out there knows, I'm jumping on it as well.
Yeah, and Jim Rami says, don't do that, Jimmy. Yes, line movement is good, but numbers tend to the over. Don Reed says, we can't forget Angels are a bad team also. Sabathia is pitching with a mission. I took 8.5 already. I learned a big lesson on Penny yesterday. I won't overlook again. I love Cincy under. John Gore says, great advice. Now, should I tail that move with the price as well, or just if the odds change? Well, that's something that you got to get more comfortable with, see what's working. But no, Pinnacle has to lead the way, I think, in a big way. We talked about that one game Drew was talking about where Pinnacle was just 2 cents in one direction. And no, I think the Yankees game is the perfect example of what we're talking about. Okay, Drew, now I have a question here. The Dodgers came into yesterday's game against Quintana hitting like 845 OPS or something versus lefties. We know that's not the Dodgers. And they started last year, the first half, hitting lefties really hard and fell apart late. 2 years ago, they couldn't hit lefties at all. Now, Cole Hamels is off to a great start. We know this Cubs team is raking. Walker Buehler is a good pitcher that hasn't got off to a great start. Cubs are hitting 271, 815 OPS versus righties. Is this a simple play on the Cubs here?
I don't think so, man. And this is another one. Look at Pinnacle. They just moved on SBR odds. It just went orange, minus 116 to Walker Buehler. I'm telling you, I like this kid a lot. I'm not looking to bet against him. Even if he has had, a couple questionable outings, he's got the stuff, man. The ball is live off of his arm, and we can obviously see in some form or fashion there is respected money out there, especially at Pinnacle, like we just went over. They're at minus 116. Looks like the rest of the market right around minus 112. That's enough for me. This guy's a bet-on pitcher. Cole Hamels, you just touched on him a little bit coming from the left side. Not necessarily a fade at all cost candidate, but Walker Buehler for me is bet on, and Pinnacle's telling us again up to minus 116. So that's the side I would look towards. Great points to all of that. And what do we do with Felix Hernandez tonight in this mound that he loves so much when he's a guy I just want to fade on the road? Yeah, but Paddock's good pitcher too. And in San Diego, the Padres, which I believe is fathers in Spanish, minus 160. It's a high price tag, but I'm not betting Felix Hernandez, man. He just doesn't have it. He's working his way through some games. I'll give him that, and he might be able to do that here at San Diego, like you said. He's had success here before, but I think Paddock's got the stuff, a live arm. So at minus 160, that's the way I would look. Again, I stay away from run lines, especially on the home team. I hate the 9 at-bats, the 8 at-bats. But that's really the only way I would look is lay the big price here at minus 160, something I don't like to do and haven't done right now. But if you made me bet it, I would be on the Padres. And then we got to close up this show, but I see the Orioles with someone who might be their ace, and John Means. I mean, he's looked very good. Tiny little sample size. Maybe ace is way too strong of a word. But Santana's looked absolutely terrible. He didn't get his spring training. He barely pitched last year because of that finger injury. And, is Baltimore live here? They open as plus 100 dogs. Now they're minus 120. Does that make sense to you? You think maybe about backing the Orioles? I mean, it's always tough to back the Orioles, man. They're just not a good team, and it's tough to win money, backing very bad teams in MLB historically. You bring up the fact Santana, which is another profile I love to bet against, guys that didn't get their full spring training in. We saw it with a big name like Chris Sale. Fade candidate, then finds his velocity. This might be the same type of profile with Santana. So until he finds it, I'm not looking to bet on him. And then on the other side, like you touched on, I mean, laying a price tag with Baltimore, I just don't think that's a positive EV bet throughout the rest of the season. So two not so good teams. The White Sox better. I mean, they're kind of a sleeper team here. It's just with Santana on the hill. I didn't put much thought into this game, but I haven't bet it, Jimmy. Okay, Joe Rich Ramirez like in the over in that game, Means up against Santana. All right, beautiful stuff. We got a lot of work to do on this MLB card on the Late Show. We're also going to have Jay Money is Money joining us to break down the NBA card. Man, what a treat it is to roll with you, Drew. Thank you so much for joining us. Could you go over your picks one more time? Let us know where we can find you on Twitter, and let us know more about the upcoming shows you have this week. Yeah, absolutely, man. At Drew Martin Bets on Twitter. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 11:50 Eastern time with Jimmy and all the low baggers in the chat. Guys, thanks for chiming in. Also, Saturday and Sunday, Me and Ski Profit doing NBA playoff show. We're off to a great start. Best bets. That's 11 a.m. Eastern time, both Saturday and Sunday. It's a really fun show to check it out. We got NFL draft coverage coming up as well. And as far as today's bets, I got Philadelphia. And also jumped on the under New York, LA with you as we talk. So I got 2 bets pending right now. Philadelphia minus 120. You can still get them under minus 125 right now. And the LA Angels, New York Yankees under, which we just went over, man. Pinnacle telling us something. Plus, I think the matchup says towards the under as well. So those 2 bets pending. And on Twitter, at Drew Martin Bets. Jimmy, thanks for having me on, man. Always fun. Good luck to you. Good luck to the low baggers out there, man.
Thank you. Much love to you, Drew Martin. Thank you for joining us. I am on the Angels under 8.5 at minus 105. I am on the A's 3 ways. I'm on the A's. Sorry, let me get to it. Man, there's a lot of action we're going to get on today. I'm on the over 9 at minus 125. That's available at the Greek. I'm on Athletics minus 1.5 at plus 125. I'm on the A's team total over 4.5 at minus 139. And then my only other play is Rockies Nationals first 5 under 6. I did not make a move on Royals, Rays, Brewers, Cardinals, I did hit National. So I didn't make a move on Brewers, Cardinals, Marlins, Indians, or Royals, Rays. I'm going to continue looking into those games, and I may add something, but at this point, doing nothing. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You guys, it's the chat that makes this show special. We have a big afternoon show, but let's come back to the show in the black. You know how we do. Most importantly, Leche, hey, Los Bookmakers!